Do feelings of doubt about your children's success creep into your mind? Are you doubting your abilities as a homeschool parent? I definitely did. Maybe you're feeling alone on this homeschool journey. If that's you, if you can relate, if you're feeling these thoughts of doubt, I would love it if you just, as you join us on this Facebook Live or watching the replay, just send a quick note in those comments. How do you relate to this topic? You're going to enjoy today's topic. I'm going to be talking about, are you having fun? How a change of attitude can affect your home education experience. Home educating our children is not easy. Nobody will say that it is. But when feelings of doubt start to creep into our thoughts, it can rob our sense of joy, leaving us wondering why we're even homeschooling in the first place. With a change of mindset, you and your family can regain the fun that you're seeking while growing and learning together. Maybe this isn't a topic that resonates with you right now, but I can assure you that it is something that you'll be able to relate to as doubt creeps into your mind at some point in your homeschool journey. Doubts about your children's success, doubts about you as their teacher. So I ask you to please share, because no doubt there's somebody that you know who is experiencing these doubts right now. My name is Diana Rolston, and I want to welcome you to Spark Homeschool Parent. Each week, I bring you strategies to ignite the spark that engages your child's learning. If you haven't realized yet, SPARK is an acronym. And we started off with exploring our children's strengths, and then went to the next month where we realized that those strengths help us create our purpose for homeschooling. And that purpose directly relates to our attitude. And that's what we'll be talking about this month. Our attitude as homeschool parents, but also our children's attitude as learners in our environment. I want to welcome you, whether you are just thinking about homeschooling or somewhere on that journey. Maybe you've been homeschooling for many, many years. I want to welcome you. Again, send in a comment. Let me know where you are on that journey. Whether you're just thinking about homeschooling, just started homeschooling, kind of figuring out what to do, or have been doing this for a long time. I'd love to hear from you. This conversation is for you. If you are interested in learning how to guard your mind from these thoughts of doubt, maybe you're looking to find out how revisiting your homeschool purpose can help you focus on that big picture and affect the attitude for the better in your homeschool environment. Again, today's conversation is, are you having fun? How a change of attitude can affect your home education experience. There are lots of doubts that go through our mind as homeschool parents. I'll just share some of the doubts that I experienced. Let me know if you can relate. My children aren't succeeding. Will my children ever get it? Will they always be behind, never catch up? That's something that those crazy thoughts paralyzed me sometimes. How about, has this doubt crept into your thinking? I'm not doing a good job. Clearly, I'm not a good teacher. I'm not a good mom. And my husband, I am not a good wife either. Those are the lies that we begin to believe and act on and affect our attitude. Can I share a story with you? It's a story of untrue words that were spoken, but I took them to heart, and they were always present in my mind. At the time, Well, I have 3 boys. At the time, my eldest was 12, and I have twins. They were 10. And I had the opportunity to travel. I'm not talking about 2 weeks on a beach. I had the opportunity to travel to Africa with my husband and a few other people from the church. But I really felt that this was something that I should take advantage of. My mom graciously offered to come stay with my boys while we were away. But homeschooling would just be a little bit too much at the time. So a friend offered that her daughter come in and do the homeschooling while I was away. It sounded perfect. So we went, and hoping that everything was fine. When I came back, of course, my children and my mom had a fantastic time together. But what happened in those hours of homeschooling weren't so great. We had up to that point created an environment that I called purposeful, though relaxed, in our homeschooling. And this young lady came into the house and did school at home. We had started our homeschool journey doing school at home, and quickly made, well, not so quickly, but we made adjustments to this purposeful but relaxed homeschooling environment. While she was schooling the boys, diligently going through the workbooks and checking off all the things that she wanted to get done before I returned, she said to my mom, "These boys are not up to grade level." You can imagine. For my mom, it just solidified the doubts that she had about her grandchildren's schooling, and the doubts she probably had as me as teaching them. These were words of somebody else that had big impact. This doubt about my children's success was implanted. My ability as a teacher, the doubt started to grow roots. It was devastating. It had a huge effect on my attitude. And I found myself going back to that time when we first started homeschooling, when I would compare my children to the curriculum that we were using and the expectations of the curriculum, comparing my children to the neighbors' kids that were at public school, comparing my children to other homeschool kids that seemed to be excelling and winning awards and doing amazing things. Comparing myself, and none of us measured up. That just seemed to be all confirmed by what this girl had shared. And yeah, when I say that these doubts were rooted, they started to grow. You've probably realized that too. Maybe you didn't hear words like I did. Maybe you imagined words that brought on this doubt. Whether you hear the words or you imagine them, the thoughts of doubt are equally legitimate and have a huge effect on our attitude. This attitude shift lasted for a little while, but as you can tell, my children are young adults now, and we soon got out of that. But there are 3 lessons that I want to share with you. I realized my children will succeed. Your children will succeed. When I changed my focus, when I focused on their strengths, then I realized, of course, there's no doubt that they will succeed. This young lady was in the house for a short time. She didn't have time to get to know my boys. She didn't get time to explore their strengths, but was merely focused on what they couldn't do, their weaknesses. My children will succeed because I rediscovered my why, my long-term goals for my children, why I was homeschooling. I wanted to raise honest men of character who know themselves, confidently knowing their strengths and their weaknesses and accepting them. But I couldn't do that when I was focusing only on their weaknesses. I wanted to raise young men who could support their family by creatively pursuing their passions. Again, how can you do that when you're focusing only on curriculum, only on what they're not doing? I heard a quote just recently, deciding at the beginning how we graduate at the end. And this is how we gain fulfillment. What is your end? What is your long-term goal? Decide that at the beginning. Decide that now. This whole experience called into question, am I really the best person to be teaching my children? I have had frequent emotional outbursts, occasional anger, inconsistencies, like changing my mind. I felt all the time. Am I really the best person? I realized I am the best person to be teaching my children. You are the best person. If you have decided to homeschool, you are the best person to be teaching your children. I'm not bashing teachers. I have very high respect for teachers in the public school, private schools. I'm just saying that we need to change our mindset and change our focus. Change our focus on longer term goals. At this time, I leaned deeply on my faith. For you, it may be that inner voice, that higher power, wherever it is that you gain your guidance. This is also an opportunity, I realized, to refine myself. When these things came to light, I realized there were some things, absolutely, that I needed to change in myself. And that's why I'm really excited about next week's conversation with Paula Moretsky. We're going to be talking about every family's hidden secret, that anger that's in many families. During this experience for me, I began to question everything. Do you find that you do that too? And I was able to take a good look at myself. I realized another thing. Homeschooling is a full-time job. It's actually more than a full-time job. Those emotional outbursts that I was experiencing, many times it was because I just didn't have the patience. I was short on time. Before I was homeschooling, I had a full-time job, but I was also able to fit in my physical activity, meeting, catching up, and staying current with my friends. And I enjoy cooking, so I was able to cook for friends and make nice meals. But then we started homeschooling, and it's not like that full-time job was replaced with homeschooling. Homeschooling, I realized, is a lifestyle. There were some of my interests that I just needed to put aside for now. I want to share a Facebook post that I put into our Spark Homeschool parent group. Just take me a sec to figure out how to do that. There we go. This is a post that I put up, a homeschool mom. I realize there's lots of homeschool dads. So a homeschool parent is a teacher and a cook and a maid and a chauffeur, and it goes on and on and on and on. And these roles don't fit in to our schooling day. You can see these roles this is your lifestyle. You are a homeschooler. It was interesting. I asked if anybody could add anything to that, and Lisa added counselor. Yes, absolutely. We're also counselors. As our children get older and have more things going on and decisions to make in life, thankfully, we have the opportunity to be our children's counselors. For Lisa, she's also her children's hairdresser. Being a parent of 3 boys, I didn't have that role, but maybe you have that also. But I had to make a decision. We all have to make a decision. And I was able to say, I know there's going to be times when I can't get out for a run, my cooking needs to be cut back a few levels, and I may not be able to go out for lunch with my girlfriends. But this is the best choice for me. Homeschooling is the best choice for me and my children for fill in the blank. How long? Make that decision. It's a shift in mindset. I recently also heard that we go from surviving to thriving to loving the new normal. That's a decision that we make and a complete shift in our mindset. So to sum up, your children will succeed. They're amazing. They'll do awesome. When we can lift our head up from the day-to-day tasks that we have in front of us and focus on the long-term goals, focus on the strengths and the brilliance within our children. And believe that you are the best teacher. Lean on that faith, that inner voice, the higher power for guidance. Also realizing there is room for refinement in ourselves. And homeschooling is a full-time job. I should rephrase that. Homeschooling is a lifestyle. So when we have bouts of frustration and impatience, that happens. It's going to happen. But we can get over it quickly and easily when we have a change in attitude. I want to share a story with you. It's a story that I think really accentuates this point of how attitude in our homeschooling environment can just have a huge effect and like change our thoughts. Let me just put that onto the screen while I'm reading it. You could take a look at this guy chipping away. A man came across three masons who were working at chipping chunks of granite from large blocks. The first seemed unhappy at his job, chipping away and frequently looking at his watch. When the man asked what it was that he was doing, the first mason responded rather curtly, "I'm hammering this stupid rock and I can't wait till 5 when I can go home." A second mason, seemingly more interested in his work, was hammering diligently, and when asked what it was that he was doing, he answered, "Well, I'm molding this block of rock so that it could be used with others to construct a wall. Yeah, it's not bad work, but I'll sure be glad when it's done." A third mason was hammering at his block fervently, taking time to stand back and admire his work. He chipped off small pieces until he was satisfied that it was the best that he could do. And when he was questioned about his work, he stopped, gazed skyward, and proudly proclaimed, "I am building a cathedral." 3 men, 3 different attitudes, all doing the same job. What is your attitude towards homeschooling? Are you chipping away at this stupid job, trying to get your son through grade 4, finishing this worksheet, or getting him to understand this unit that he's working on? Or are you gazing skyward? I am building a fill in the blank. What is your long-term goal? It will completely change your attitude towards homeschooling your brilliant children. I hope this has been helpful for you. I want to hear from you. I want to see where you are on this journey of homeschooling, what doubts and how you're overcoming them. Share your comments in the group. Let's encourage each other along this journey. You're not alone. This is Spark Homeschool Parent, and my commitment is to equip you with the skills and the mindset to navigate through this ever-changing homeschool journey. If you're looking for a community of encouragement, join us if you haven't already. in the Spark Homeschool Parent Facebook group and share it. Share it amongst your friends that are homeschooling. I'm really excited about my conversation next week, so please join me Friday, 1 p.m. for another Facebook Live, where I'll be in conversation with Paula Moretsky, and we're going to be talking about every family's hidden secret. I'm looking forward to that. Until next week, remember, as a homeschool parent, you can be the spark that ignites your children's learning.